jeez. Let me know when Frankie's there. He is there. Okay. I assume he's not there, but he's on the phone. Oh, he's here. Okay. All right. It's exciting.
At 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000. Do you own a property that's outdated and needs thousands of dollars in repairs? Great, I'll buy it. I'm a private real estate investor who can solve your real estate problems fast for cash. Do you want to sell and just be done with it? Okay, great. I buy vacant properties, boarded up houses, pre-foreclosures, and inherited properties. I also buy apartment buildings, rental portfolios, divorce homes. I even buy my tenant won't pay me the rent houses. I look forward to solving your real estate problems today. Call me today for an all-cash offer at 614-470-2000, 614-470-2000.
Washington County's largest gun show is back on Saturday and Sunday, September 25th and 26th, from 9 a.m. to 4 p.m. at the Washington County Fairgrounds. Admission is only $7. Kids under 12 get in free with an adult. Everyone is welcome. They offer free appraisals and have great prices on all types of firearms, modern, military, and antique. They have over 450 tables, and the food's pretty good too. They have all these tables with cash buyers on site for your used guns. Visit arhsportshop.com, or you can give them a call, 724-948-3571. That's 724-948-3571. 3571 for more information. That's the Washington County Gun Show presented by ARH Sports Shop, September 25th and 26th.
Hello, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm the Storm Tracker, Darnell Foster, with a look at your local weather forecast for your Thursday. Morning sun and clouds give way to a few afternoon scattered showers and storms. A daytime high near 73. Overnight, mainly clear. Temperatures near 52 for the low. Then looking towards your Friday, a mix of sun and clouds through the day, a high near 73. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Hello, friends.
Today is a very special day.
National Teddy Bear Day, September 9th.
Teddy bear?
It's National Teddy Bear Day.
You win a teddy bear!
Your teddy bear?
It's National Teddy Bear Day.
A teddy bear?
We're named after President Teddy Roosevelt.
It's like a teddy bear. Another teddy bear, wow.
Your teddy bear.
Take your position. It's showtime.
Live and local in the Ohio Valley, this is the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe.
60 degrees at the Wheeling, Ohio County Airport. It is a lot warmer down here, 67 degrees at my home studios in the Elm Grove section of Wheeling, 67 at the Robinson Auto Group Studios downtown Wheeling. In the heart of the Ohio Valley, fog floating around pretty much all those places right now. Going to see a mixture of sun and clouds today, maybe a few stray showers during the day, daytime high around 72. So it doesn't feel like fall, look like fall, I guess because it sort of is fall. Labor Day is over, behind us, school is back in session, and so on. Speaking of school being in session, Biffy, this is going to be a big weekend for us with sports, high school sports, college sports. We add the pros as well. Starting off tonight on WKKX, the Neil Brown Coaches Show at 6 o'clock. And then, Biffy, tomorrow we get things underway. Billy's got some high school coaches on his show, on the Bill DeFabio Variety Show. And then it's time for the walkthrough.
Yes, the walkthrough at 3 o'clock going until 5 o'clock tomorrow afternoon.
Then we will take a little break for some news from the Big Seven, and Tony will be in. And then we head. Actually, we have no game tomorrow night, do we?
That is correct. Yeah, the way the schedule was, we do not have a game tomorrow night because Wheeling Central plays Saturday afternoon at Belair, going to Nelson Field for a noon kickoff.
So we will have that Saturday Central game for you, but that will be on our new high school sports stream site because at the same time we've got WVU in action, right?
Yes, the actually it's the pregame for Long Island and West Virginia. Pregame is at 1:30 and the kickoff is at 5 o'clock in Morgantown. So that's why Wheeling Central and Belair will be on the high school stream.
You can find that at our website, watchdognetwork.com. There are three options there, WKKX, WVOY, and there is one that says High School Sports Stream. And you just click on that during our high school games that are on the stream. Not all of the games are, and that stream is not up all the time, but it will be tomorrow. And I mentioned last week, just so you all understand, we have some contractual obligations with WVU that make us have to move the Central games or whatever games we may want to put on at the same time over to the high school sports stream. It's really easy to find, though. Go to watchdognetwork.com and just click on the high school sports stream, and you will find us. And then this week, Biffy, we had the pros to the action, too.
Yeah, and don't forget on Saturday as well at noon, a big game in Columbus, Oregon, and Ohio State at noon also on Saturday. And then, Sunday afternoon. Actually, tonight is the first game in the NFL. The Cowboys taking on the defending Super Bowl champion Tampa Bay Buccaneers. That'll be the Thursday night game tonight. And then Sunday afternoon at 4:25, the Cleveland Browns at the Kansas City Chiefs, which is where the Browns season ended last year. So they go back to where they ended the season last year, and they'll start it this year in Kansas City.
All right. So that's what's coming up this weekend here on The Watchdog, 9:14. At the mayor's State of the City speech a month or so ago, the one headline that I think I saw, the mayor, of course, gave several people awards, as he always does, during the State of the City, and he kind of reviewed some of the projects currently in progress. We talked to the mayor about some of those yesterday. But the headline, I guess, that I would have seen came at the very end of his speech when he said the city's going to try to sort of work with the Convention and Visitors Bureau and the Sports and Entertainment Authority to sort of beef up activity, beef up the entertainment at the Capitol Theater and at West Bank Arena with the creation of some sort of entertainment fund. This week at Council, they elaborated a bit more on that and created this entertainment endowment fund, and also, I guess, a committee that's going to help with the some ideas on different things to do. I have Frank O'Brien with us from the Convention and Visitors Bureau. First of all, Frank, good morning. Always good to have you with us.
Well, good morning, Howard. It's certainly good to be with you, too, even if it's long distance, right?
How many years have you been with the CVB?
Out of the TV or at CVB? Oh, 15 years. Excuse me. Yeah. 15 years.
You know, you're still, in my mind, you're still my colleague from Channel 7, you know.
Well, when I was listening to that national teddy bear, I'm thinking of you, too. You're a teddy bear with a little grandson by Teddy.
Yeah, that's right. He hates to be called teddy bear, though. Oh, that makes him upset.
Oh, I bet.
Oh, that makes him upset. I don't know why, but he doesn't like that. But you know what grandkids are like. You know how much you love them.
Oh, my gosh, yeah.
Changes your world, doesn't it?
It does. I mean, actually, it's the best part of the world. I bonded quicker with my grandchildren than I did with my own kids, really, and would rather spend time with the kids than my own. You know how that works.
Well, there's an old Bill Cosby had an old line. I know we're not supposed to quote Cosby anymore, but Cosby had a great line. He said, speaking about his parents, his kids' grandparents, he said, "These are not parents. These are old people trying to get into heaven." So,
well, the quickest way is with grandchildren are just wonderful. I have 3 granddaughters that are just life-changing for me, so love them.
Yeah, but my point about how long you've been gone is you're still, to me, you're just, I still want to say former TV broadcaster, you know, Frank O'Brien. I remember some of the old days, Frank.
Oh, I do too, and those were some good times, Howard. And it's, believe it or not, we've had a 35-year at least friendship, I would say. I think we're friends.
Yeah, absolutely.
And definitely had a broadcasting relationship. And you even worked at Channel 7 for a while and was telling me where to go and what stories to cover. So we go back.
And like most people over there, you told me where to go, and that was no, you were always good to work with. Hey, Frank, look, you see this all the time, and I see this all the time. You read social media. I was just reading more of it just last night. People are going, "I don't understand why we can't get better acts at the Capitol. Why can't we get the kind of people we used to get at West Banco Arena?" You hear that all the time, right?
Oh, we do, and there are a number of reasons that obviously that the entertainment schedule is not enhanced like it was back in the 80s and 90s. Certainly because the industry has changed significantly, but also because there was never anybody with risk capital involved that could actually go out and buy shows. Let me give you a real brief background story. The current administration, about five years ago, when they first came into office, they came to us and says, what can we do to increase some of the programming at both the theater, at the amphitheater on Heritage Port Waterfront, and West Banco Arena? And when they came to us, the first thing that we said was, all of these venues that we have are rental models. What we mean by that is an outside promoter will come in, rent the theater, for example. They four-wall it, that's what it's called, and they pay for production costs, they pay for talent fees, the theater receives food and beverage revenue and some rent, but there is absolutely no risk. All the risk is on the promoter. But when you sit around basically waiting...
If it's a big event, the promoter makes money. If it's not a good event,
he could potentially lose
the
money.
arena doesn't lose any money.
Right. The arena does not lose any money. That's correct. However, you have very little control. Well, I guess you could say, no, we don't want that particular performer to come in. You brought up Bill Cosby. That's a good example. Bill Cosby, prior to all the court stuff and the conviction, was scheduled at the Capitol Theater. And it was a rental, and his promoters and producers rented it, and there was a cost factor involved, about $60,000. And there was some pressure on our part from people in the community that wanted us to cancel the show. And certainly we listened to those things, and we inquired what it would cost the theater to cancel the Bill Cosby show. We would have had to pay that $60,000 fee just because we canceled it. That was a loss that the theater couldn't take, obviously. But we had no control over the acts that were there. However, if you had some money involved, where you could actually go out and buy your own shows, you would have control on the dates of those performances, the types of acts that you're bringing in, and which would play a big role, especially like, for example, during the Festival of Lights. Traditionally, there was a jamboree show on Saturday nights in November and December. We had Broadway shows that could be augmented and used during a holiday performance, because people will come to see a theater show, and then while they're here, they'll go to Ogilvy to see the Festival of Lights, and while they're in between all of those things, they're going to stay at a hotel more than likely, either at Ogilvy or at Hampton or all the number of different properties that we have. And they're going to eat at a restaurant, and while they're here, they may buy gas. So these are the kinds of things that these events will have a positive economic impact on the Wheeling area if it's done right. So the first thing they asked us is, how come you're not doing that? So once I explained to them, or to the administration, to the mayor and the vice mayor and several council people, what I just told you about the rental model, they said, well, is it possible to create an endowment fund? Well, and so from my point of view, just some more history. Back in 2009, the theater was closed, obviously, and it was for sale. And the Convention and Visitors Bureau and its board of directors decided to buy the Capitol Theater with the goal of getting it back in operation to make sure that it's a tourism driver to the downtown market. That money that it cost to buy it, as well as to bring it up to code, was pretty expensive. It was, it's probably a total of about $4 million combined through CBB loan funds, CBB funds that we use to match grants, and then even the public stepped up in a huge way. People like Gary West and the Chris Hess Foundation, they contributed $1 million for these upgrades. So the theater was in a great position. I had a 10-year mortgage note on the theater. And our board had always discussed, and we knew that the only way we could increase programming at the theater is if we were promoting our own shows or promoting shows with another outside promoter, that we would have more control and we could increase the types of shows. However, the CVB had already committed just about every spare dollar that it had to maintain the theater. So we always said that once the mortgage was settled, that we would go ahead and maybe perhaps create an endowment as well as a promotion fund to help the theater in its programming. I'm happy to say that last year in the summer, the debt service on the theater was retired, and that freed up a significant amount of money that was going to the mortgage, and it now could perhaps go to an endowment fund. The other important aspect of programming any venue, public venue, whether it's the arena, the port, or the theater, is to make sure that you have the kinds of shows that people are going to want to come and see. And so I'm stuck in the 70s. So if they bring in Marshall Tucker or Chicago, I'm cool. I'm going. But
I'm with you.
Yeah, I know. But younger people, they're not going to go, and older people, they may not go as well. So it's important to have an advisory board that is made up of the different demographics that make up our wonderful community here. And we can get input from all of those different types of groups that will tell us what's going to sell and what isn't going to sell. Like Jamie Johnson, didn't know who he was. However, he sold out. The old Crow Medicine Show was another great act that sold out that I never heard of. So that came from, you know, a different group of people that said, hey, these acts would sell here if you brought them in. So the formation of an advisory board with some possible seed money to create a programming endowment should work to increase programming at the theater. And so City Council, 5 years ago when we talked about it, has finally, not finally, they once we told them that the mortgage was settled, they revisited, and I have to give them, I applaud them a lot to making a resolution at this point, which would combine the resources, some resources of the city, the resources of the Convention and Visitors Bureau, and most importantly, the expertise and resource and staffing that the Greater Wheeling Sports and Entertainment Authority can provide. Just another quick backstory was the theater is actually operated by the Sports and Entertainment Authority. And what that means simply is that if there's a show at the Capitol, all the concession workers, the door guards, the seating people, everybody that's involved with that show are staff members of the West Banco Arena Greater Sports and Entertainment Authority. So they basically would report to the theater that night to do the same kind of job they would do normally at the arena if there was a hockey game, for example. So that relationship is what makes it really work. The theater, when it's closed, like when it's dark right now, there are no labor costs attached to the theater because the people that would be doing the work would actually be working at West Banco Arena. And when there is a show there or not a show at the theater. So that is magical, actually. It wouldn't work any other way. The CBB did not and will not have the resources to operate a theater and the expertise and skills. The Sports and Entertainment Authority and Denny Magruder and his crew, they understand how to do all of the important things to make it work. So now, the resolution.
Frank, let me
I'm
just,
sorry.
I want to just capsulize what you said for
Right,
people. You hear this, well, why don't we get better acts? I hear two things you're telling us. Number one, it's just the dynamics of the entertainment business has simply changed a bit. Mm-hmm. It's just not the way it was in the 70s or 80s. The performers aren't coming necessarily to town. The big ones aren't coming to towns like this. The schedule that used to work between Columbus and still call it Star Lake. What is that now?
Yeah, I think it's Star Lake again.
I think it is Star Lake. Yeah. So number one, the dynamics of the industry have just changed, and that's just a reality. And then number two, to a large extent, the local folks don't actually put on any shows. You have to wait for someone outside, another promoter, to say, we want to be in Wheeling. So it's not at the moment, like, at least not very often, do you say, hey, I want to get Seinfeld to come back. You have to wait for Seinfeld to say, I want to come back. Now, am I right about that, basically, at least up to this moment?
Absolutely right. Correct.
So what this concept of this ad hoc committee making recommendations and the Entertainment Endowment Fund might do is give you and the Sports and Entertainment Authority greater ability to maybe decide on what you would like to have, what they would like to have, and go out and bring them in. That's going to be the change that could occur here, right?
Absolutely. And the important part of all of this is if they are successful in getting acts that basically are considered a home run, any money that would be on top of that would go back into that endowment fund and would be recycled for the next act. However, there's also the possibility that the show may not do well and there could be a negative number. However, based on past experience and watching how the theater has operated for the last 12 years, Very rarely, if ever, has there been a negative number involved with the theater performance. They're always in the positive. They may not make as much money as some promoter had wanted, but it's still making money. So I could see how the fund would always replenish itself and be self-sustaining in the long run. Primarily because, and this model's not something that was just created here. Place like the Palace Theater in Greensburg, PA, and other theaters similar to ours, they have endowment funds. The Benedum has perhaps one of the biggest endowment funds there is in Pittsburgh, and that's the money that they use to go out and get performers and acts and different shows to come to their community. So Wheeling didn't have that, and perhaps we will have one if this plan progresses and the resolution is accepted as we move further down the road.
One of the caveats I think we want to put here probably, Frank, is that people are going to be, everybody has the act they think is the act that ought to be coming here, the performer that should be coming here. As you point out, I might give you a lot of recommendations on old acts from the 70s, and I think a lot of people who talk about the old days of Westbanco Arena are thinking about some of those kinds of acts. It's important, I think, and I think you concur with this, particularly at the Capitol, that there be a variety of types of entertainment. I will go to 1 or 2 shows, but I can't go to 10 shows. So you got to make sure that there's something to appeal to different demographics at different times, right?
Oh, no question about it. And you also have to look at pricing. There's only so much entertainment dollar available. And like you said, if we have 5 Broadway shows and you want to go to 2 and you can afford to go to 2 of them, they have to be priced in a way that is attractive. Where you can't charge $400 a ticket to go see like the Rolling Stones. It's just not going to happen here. People can't afford it. So with that in mind, if we could increase the programming's diversity, and we do that by having this ad hoc advisory committee. So there's going to be some way that you can communicate to the programming people at the theater what is going on and what would sell if it was brought into Wheeling. And we think that by expanding the input from the different folks in the community, we should be able to reach those goals. This advisory board is perhaps the most important part of it all because, you want to make sure that you get things that are going to sell and replenish that pool of money in the beginning. So that's where we're at this point. We have always thought that the CBB, once the mortgage was paid, would try to create an endowment of some sort. Wouldn't be a lot because we didn't have the resources. And now to have a partner like the city and the Sports and Entertainment Authority as full partners, that takes it to a whole new level, Howard. And I'm convinced that it will increase. And let me give you the bottom line for everything that we're doing here. If 50,000 people come to a show or a course of shows in the course of 1 year, the positive economic input in direct spending by those 50,000 people is about $3 to $5 million each single year. And even without our own revenue to buy our shows, we're averaging about 52,000 people a year have come to see shows since 2009. So even if you look at the low end of that number, $30 million in the last 10 years has been brought to the Wheeling market through the Capitol Theater's programming. So that's the reason you're going to do all of this. Not only is it going to improve the quality of life for local people, but we're also counting on having the kinds of shows that are going to attract people from the tri-state area. And Seinfeld's a good one. If Seinfeld is scheduled on a Thursday night at 11, or on a Friday night at 11, let me rephrase that. The show goes on a Friday night, starts at 7, is over at 11, you're going to stay more likely at a hotel. And that's going to generate hotel room rates, and that's the reason we're going to do all of this. And the economic impact is number one. Improving the quality of life is number two. And we think that this is the right way to go.
Frank,
Other markets
I got to
use
move
it.
along. I have to move along very quickly, but what is coming up at the Capitol or West Bank Arena? I know I have season tickets to the Broadway shows because one of my favorite shows is there. If I were a rich man,
Yeah.
I love Fiddler on the Roof, so I'm looking forward to that.
It is so exciting, Howard, to hear that we're going to have Broadway again at the Capitol Theater. It's been closed for a year and a half, so this has been a real tough year and a half. But coming up is the 88th anniversary show, 9/25. This is going to be September the 25th of the Wheeling Jamboree. Wow. And then there's a local fundraiser called the Lip Sync Challenge, which I think is going to be pretty entertaining for the Augusta Levy organization. That's on October the 2nd. And then Trace Adkins, he's going to be here. His show's been canceled and rescheduled and is going to be here on 10 October. So we're looking forward to those new shows. So get your tickets now. They're all on sale.
Lots of good stuff. Hey, Frank, we'll talk again. I have to move on, but I appreciate you coming in today. I wanted to get a little info about this entertainment fund and the new committee. I think it's a good turning point here for the arena and the Capitol, and hopefully even better things are coming. So thanks for dropping by, my friend. We'll talk to you again soon.
Thank you, Howard, very much. Thanks.
Frank O'Brien, who's director of the Convention and Visitors Bureau here on the Watchdog Morning Show. More on our 9/11 remembrances coming up in the next half hour, plus a look at what's happening inside the newsroom at the Big Seven. Brenda Dainard will be with us. Right now, we check headlines from Metro News.
The Metro News Update is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Hey, Biffy, whatever you can dump, because I still have to get, 8 minutes? I'm going to get 8 minutes of ABC plus Brenda in, so if you can shorten this in any way, I don't know what we got, but do your best. I'll get right, as soon as we come back, I'll go straight to the ABC thing. Thank you. Tell Frank I said hi. I'm glad he dropped by.
All-time pandemic high. More than 90% of those patients are unvaccinated. The state now has more than 22,000 active cases overall. Local control will remain in place at West Virginia schools when it comes to updating masking policies and other COVID guidelines. The State Board of Education on Wednesday talked about whether they ought to order a mask mandate over the whole state. Vice President Tom Campbell, though, said the state ought to leave it at
One. Forced better, I think we're going to have better results.
About 30 of the state's 55 school districts now have a universal mask mandate. 13 districts have masks as an option, while the remaining counties depend on their color in the state's COVID alert map. You're listening to Metro News, the voice of West Virginia. College alumni in West Virginia remembering the lives of friends lost on September 11th, 20 years ago this Saturday. WVU alum Brian Martin says his college friend Jim Samuel was killed while working at the Twin Towers, and it's still painful to think about.
It's crazy because it's like we never really had closure, you know? And it's crazy. Even 20 years, it's just a horrific day.
Read more in our lead story at WVMetroNews.com. From the Metro News Anchor Desk, I'm Chris Lawrence.
T.J. Watt returned to practice Wednesday. Watt practiced in pads with his teammates for the first time since the end of 2020. Let's hear from Mike Tomlin, the head coach of the Steelers.
Thought he looked good. He was engaged. He's been a full participant in walkthroughs and things of that nature. He's a smart guy. He can learn from watching others, and it's evident in watching him work today.
Remember, Watt is still without a contract extension. Ben Roethlisberger, the Steelers' primetime quarterback, met with the media, and he had some advice for the front office concerning TJ and a brand new contract.
I think TJ should get whatever the heck he wants. He's arguably the best football player in the game right now, not just on defense, just in general. I've been through a few negotiations here with contracts. one of the reasons I took less money was for guys like him to get paid, and he needs to get paid.
Steelers visit the Buffalo Bills Sunday afternoon. Speaking of the NFL and a game, are you ready for the NFL regular season opener tonight? The Dallas Cowboys will visit the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Well, Miguel Cabrera, a future Hall of Famer with Detroit, recorded 4 hits as his Tigers defeated the Pirates 5-1. Let's hear from manager Derek Shelton.
He's the best right-handed hitter I've ever seen. And, he had good swings. And tonight we didn't make bad pitches to him. I mean, I think he hit everything. He hit the fastball up, he hit a fastball in, he hit a curveball 0-0, and he hit a cutter for 4 hits. I mean, that shows you why he's such a good hitter.
Pirates won't lose or win today. It's an off day for the 50 and 90 Pittsburgh Pirates. Bad news for the Penguins. Their star player and captain Sid Crosby will miss the start of the regular season after undergoing wrist surgery. He'll be out at least 6 weeks. I'm Bill DeFabio on sports, and we are the Watchdog.
You took the first step and quit smoking, but even former smokers may still be at risk for lung cancer. That's why SaveByTheScan.org wants you to know about a new low-dose CT scan that can detect lung cancer early. It takes only 60 seconds and could save your life. You took the first step, now take the next. Visit SaveByTheScan.org for a simple quiz to see if you're eligible and talk to your doctor about screening. SaveByTheScan.org is brought to you by the American Lung Association's Lung Force Initiative and the Ad Council.
For all of your IT needs, visit OmniPerforms.com. Omni Strategic Technologies, the only IT company that the Watchdog trusts. You want sports talk? We got the goods all night long. Tune into Sports Map Radio, evenings and overnights on FM 98.1, AM 1600. We are the Watchdog.
Live and local for the Ohio Valley, the Watchdog Morning Show with Howard Monroe continues.
Our ABC News special on 9/11, 20 years later, continues now. Aaron Katersky and the team from ABC have been looking back on the fateful day 20 years ago, Saturday, 9/11 in 2001. And also kind of taking a look as we move forward at kind of what's the lasting legacy of 9/11. Some good, some bad. Part of the lasting legacy has been the war in Afghanistan that lasted 20 years, just come to a military end now. So over the last couple of days and continuing until tomorrow, we're going to continue this ABC News documentary. Here's Aaron Katersky again.
You're listening to an ABC News special, remembering 9/11, 20 years later. Once again, ABC's Aaron Katersky.
20 years ago, on September 11, 2001, Janelle Guzman McMillan was working on the 64th floor of the World Trade Center's North Tower. When American Airlines Flight 11 struck the building, she stayed. It wasn't until smoke began pouring into her floor that she and some of her coworkers decided to head for the stairs. She made it down 50 flights, and then the North Tower collapsed. Buried under concrete and debris, somehow Janelle survived. Rescued 27 hours later, the very last survivor pulled from the rubble of the World Trade Center. She sat down with our Robin Roberts to remember that day.
It's hard to believe it's been 20 years.
20 years, wow. It's like unbelievable. I'm still here.
What was your lifestyle before 9/11?
It was crazy. It was just a crazy, untouchable, invincible. When I realized that I was going to work at the World Trade Center, that was like, oh, I'm here. I've landed. I have made it.
31-year-old Janelle had taken a job with the Port Authority located on the 64th floor of the North Tower. You had no idea what had happened.
I did not know what was going on. When I looked towards the window, just like lots of papers and debris like in the skies. So I thought to myself that maybe something happened on the higher floors and a window got blew open and papers would just scatter around.
Why did some of you stay?
So I stayed because I've been through the fire drill, and I said, okay, it's not serious yet because no announcement came on, and we made a couple phone calls, and they told us it's okay to stay.
Above the 93rd floor of the North Tower, there was no way out. On the floors below, noxious smoke was pouring in. You're on the 64th floor
64th.
of the North Tower.
Mm-hmm.
Was there smoke beginning to come into the office space?
One of the guys told us to get jackets or anything that is left in people's cubicle and wet it and put it by the doorway.
As smoke begins to engulf their floor, Janelle and some of her coworkers finally decide to get out of the North Tower.
We were going down, we were counting each staircase, holding hands. And I think when we made it to the 30-something staircase, there were firefighters coming up. So then I felt good. Okay, they're coming up, we're going down. Well, it's not that, we're going to make it, it's not that bad.
As the North Tower collapsed, Janelle was still inside. Tell us what happened at that point.
I just kept holding onto the railing, and the rubble, the dust, the darkness, the walls just burst open. I just felt everything, I just hear the noise so loud. The walls just open up and the dust just come hitting on top of me.
Janelle lay buried under tons of concrete and rubble at the base of the North Tower.
It was dead silence. And I just lay there. And within that little moment, I heard someone call out help, like very faint, like somebody buried, just called out help, help. And I tried to get up and I realized I couldn't move. I felt the pain. My head was like feeling like it was going to explode. My head got stuck between the concrete pillar, and my arms were beneath my stomach, and my legs were crisscrossed. I was in a weird position. And then I came to the realization that I'm going to die. They're not going to find me.
Janelle, trapped under the rubble of the North Tower, was barely holding on to life.
I was awake, but I knew I was pinned under there, and I knew that I'm just going to see myself slowly dying under here. I was just praying and asking God to show me a sign or show me a miracle.
What'd you say to God?
Please give me a second chance. If you pull me out from this rubble, I promise I would do your will and I would change my life.
As night fell, rescue teams desperately continued to dig, searching for signs of life. Did you have any sense of time, how much time had been passing? Did you know if it was night, if it was morning?
No. I felt cold at one point, very cold. I was shivering. My body was like shivering. I'm in and out of this sleep, but conscious because I could hear everything outside. I could hear a lot of movements outside. And so I knew that I wasn't just asleep the whole 27 hours.
By morning on September 12th, they were still searching as Janelle lay trapped beneath them.
I felt like I was going to give up, and I could hear the noises coming up, and I see someone, she's alive. And then I could hear them coming closer and like above me. Somebody grabbed my hand. I got you. He kept holding my hand and telling me, you're going to be fine. Just hang in there until the rescue will come. I'm not going to let you go.
Firemen finally pulled Janelle out, 27 hours after the collapse of the North Tower.
Like now I was in the open where they bring me out. I knew it was daytime because the sun hit my face and I tried to like open my eyes, but my eyes could barely open, but I could see the skyline, I could see a little bit. And when I felt that sun hit my face, I knew my family was going to be so happy.
In the years following 9/11, Janelle has married and expanded her family.
After the promises that I made to God, I started going to the Brooklyn Tabernacle Church. I got baptized in November that same year. Get married and everything that same year. And this the life that I'm living now, I'm forever grateful. And I wouldn't trade it for anything else. Despite my injury, despite what I've been through, it's the best me. And I love this life.
Coming up, remembering a parent you've never met. When this ABC News special, Remembering 9/11, 20 years later, continues.
We will have 2 more installments of this documentary from ABC tomorrow here on the Watchdog Morning Show. Let's go over to the Big 7, WTRF TV. Bob Westfall is with us this morning. Bob, I think you guys have an ABC 9/11 special of some kind coming up as well. Is that right?
Yes, we do. Let me see. You caught me off guard, and I'm looking it up as we speak.
I'm sorry, I didn't mean to do that.
That's okay. Friday and Saturday it airs. I think, what nights, Brenda? All right. I'll have to look it up for you, Howard. But, yeah, we do have a couple.
I'm sorry.
That's okay. Some really nice local pieces that we've done. Colin Roos went up to Weirton, with the Weirton Memorial there, the Veterans Memorial at the, as you come into town, that has a piece of the tower as a bench. They brought that in a few years ago. We talked to local emergency management, local fire, how things have changed, how that day literally changed how we do emergency management. As you know, on September 10th, 2001, and now are so distinctly different. But yeah, we do have those specials, and I'll get you that information here in a little bit. But it's hard to believe it's 20 years. I can remember the day it happened. I had actually probably been here about maybe a year. I'd been back about a year when it happened. I was asleep at home, and Kerry Brown was the assignment setter at the time and called and said, "Hey, can you come in?" And I, of course, was sleeping in for various reasons, and got up and turned on the TV, and there it is. So, and I came in, and shortly thereafter, the second tower got hit. Actually, I live in Brilliant, so about the time I got to Rush Run, the second tower got hit. And then when I got here, there was talk of that plane heading from Cleveland. And when we heard it was down in Shanksville, I had literally driven past that field a week before to cover a Nailers Johnstown game and knew exactly where it was. It was like, just almost wanted to go. I mean, but I ended up spending the rest of the day working with Amber Nicotra, doing stories with people, and that will be a day that I don't think anyone's going to forget. But I know that
it was, and it was a day where it wasn't until nighttime that I felt like it was over. I kept thinking, what's next? We had plane 1, plane 2, tower 1 comes down, the third, the Pentagon is hit, tower 2 comes down, Shanksville. I kept wondering, what's next? I mean, I didn't know. And I don't think anybody knew what could be coming next. It was just an unbelievable day. We were carrying the ESPN radio network at the time, and when my show was over, we went to Tony Kornheiser. Tony was broadcasting live from Planet Hollywood, I think it was, or Hard Rock maybe, in D.C. And I remember Tony came on and said, "We've just begun the show. We have been told to evacuate. A plane is coming in, and I believe I shall leave now." He just got up and walked away, left the microphone open, and said, "That's it, I'm getting out of here." What a crazy day it was. And how the world has changed, Bob. How the world has changed.
Right. I can remember toward the end of the day, the one thing that, and I don't know why it stuck with me, was the fact that when you look to the sky, there was no jet exhaust. You know, we're close enough to Pittsburgh International Airport that you would see 2, 3, 4 planes maybe flying toward the airport. But when they made the order to all planes land, there were no contrails in the air. You know, that struck me as really weird. I don't know why. All these years later,
I've told the audience many times over the years. Our studios were in your building at the time. We were in the Channel 7 building. And I remember in the evening standing outside, right outside what's your main door there, looking to the sky and thinking, there's nothing up there. I mean, it was just a spooky feeling. There's nothing up there. Just amazing. Just amazing.
Yeah, that's what stuck with me at the end of the day is looking up there. There was no plane contrails or anything like that. You know, and like I said, living near Pittsburgh, you know, you see it all the time. It's almost a spider's web.
All the time.
Yeah. So anyway, yeah, we will
Absolutely.
have a special. Obviously, I know it's going to be on Friday and Saturday night, but I'll get to that information here in a little bit. A couple other things.
Okay, that's fine.
A couple other things we're working on today is big Wheeling headquarters. The police headquarters groundbreaking over at the old OEMC is today. We do have a crew there now. So this is a project that's has its ups and downs. So it's finally coming to fruition. So we will be there. We will have that live tonight in our 5 o'clock. Ashley Kaiser's over there right now. You and I both know it's has its starts and stops. So it looks like we're full steam ahead now. So Wheeling PD is going to get headquarters.
It's interesting, though, Bob. I think in the end, this is just a personal opinion, they probably, you're right, we had the safety building proposal there on 10th Street, and then they were going to do, all different kinds of places. I think this may end up being the right place. It may end up being in just the right place. The old Valley Professional Center seems to me to be a perfect location for the new police headquarters.
Right. So, yeah, it seems like a lot of people are in agreement with you. I know a lot of people were not happy with the one location they were looking at. So it looks like we've got a good compromise. City of Wheeling is going to get an updated police department. Looks like the fire department is moving in the same direction. So we shall see how things are going. Absolutely.
Absolutely. So it's sort of a ceremonial groundbreaking today, since the ground is already broken. But this will be kind of the kickoff of the work, and that's great. So we'll look for that on the Big 7.
Okay. That was our producer extraordinaire, Shannon McNamara, walking in the door and screaming. But anyway, she forgot. But anyway, I think she forgot Ryan too. But anyway, a couple other things we're working on. Let's see, what are we working on? I want to talk about this. I'm really proud of what Nexstar does when it comes to community involvement. So I'm going to toot our horn a little bit. First story, we've done some series of stories with Feeding America. And since the pandemic, it's just been, you and I both covered these stories, Howard, for the last year. How many people have come through, whether it's Marshall County, Ohio County, Brooke County, any of the northern panhandle, have come through and needed help with feeding their families. So Feeding America has teamed up with Nexstar, and Nexstar has committed $2 million in television airtime and financial support to 2023. So today we start our first series of packages and stories like that, going to each of these counties where they had events with Feeding America. So this is something I'm quite proud of. I'm quite proud of Nexstar stepping in. I mean, gosh, how many stories have we done of people needing, just at the end of their financial ropes and needing help?
It's been a tough time, and all the help that they can get, both in terms of publicity and awareness raising, as well as financial help, is really important.
Right. So we will have that today. I'm quite proud. That'll be here at 5. Let's see. We're going to talk to a local doctor on a record increase in patients in the ICU and on ventilators. West Virginia set another record. Not a good record. but that will continue. So we're going to try and get some kind of reaction to that as well. So some good news, some bad news today. Weather looks great, a little bit of rain, I think, in mid-afternoon. Sports, I think there's one game. There's a game tonight, high school football.
NFL season starts.
Yeah. NFL season starts this weekend, so Scott and Chip will be working on that. And we're just kind of a little bit of everywhere. So those are some of the bigger stories we're working on right now.
All right, sounds good, Bob. I appreciate it. We'll look forward to noon, 5, 6, 10, 11, 5:30 statewide show, always at WTRF.com. And we'll talk to you tomorrow to wrap up the week. Thanks a lot.
All right, guys. Have a good one.
All right, got to get out of here, Biffy. I'm back tomorrow morning, 7 o'clock, on the Go Around the Big Gig. Are you back with me?
I am here to close out the week.
We'll keep on doing it until we get it right.
That could be a long time.
Indeed. ABC News already in progress.
The Watchdog is FM 98.1, AM 1600 WKKX Wheeling, FM 97.7, AM 1370 WVLY Moundsville.
The ABC News is brought to you by Thomas Auto Centers, Mall Road, St. Clairsville. Get the best deal at Thomas Auto Centers.
Slip when it comes to his handling of the.
Did it stop or did you take it out? Oh, okay. I thought, no, I don't need to hear it. I just thought, oh my God, there we go again. All right. That timing is a little bit off, but it could have been a whole lot worse. So that worked okay. It was a nice mixture of things today. I thought so. Nay's so good. I think he's always good, but a day like today, I mean, he was right there in the midst of all of it. It's really good stuff. Right. Yeah, he was, he was, I would say at the right place at the right time, but I mean, he was right there in the midst of it, which is really cool. All right, anything going on I should know about? Any problems or anything? I didn't get down there yesterday. I thought I might, but I didn't. Anything happening? Okay. Oh. Okay, good. Did he say, I thought yesterday he was having his surgery. Did he say anything about that? Maybe I was wrong. Oh, it got canceled. Okay. All right. Which transmitter is he going to? Which FM? Okay. The FM is off down there. I just didn't know what was going on. So, okay, that could be it then. Okay. All right. Well, I'll text him if he was going to go do our stuff before he went to Bethany. Is that what you said? Okay. All right. I can text him and see what's going on then. I didn't want to bother him because I thought he had surgery yesterday. He might be recuperating a bit today, but all right. Okay. Sounds good. I should be here all day. Nothing special. I'm going to do some work here. You got the athlete I sent you yesterday, right? And you sent me the music. So if Kayleen will tell me what we're calling it, I can just put it into Radio Spider and, just. Yeah, and that's fine, but I told her if she could, she could schedule it, but I need to know what to call it, and then I can do a Radio Spider. It will download automatically every week, and, that makes it a lot easier than you having to put it in there. But we'll see. Whatever happens, happens. And we only have one game this week then, is that right? Yeah, okay. Is it at Preston County? Yeah, too far. That's what I'm thinking, too far to travel for a bad game. And you told me it's not on my sheet. Kayleen may have added it, but OSU is when? I should know this more than you should. When is Saturday when? Noon, okay. Okay. I think she added, it's not on the sheet, but I think she sent a note. I just didn't put it on my sheet, so I have now done so. So now I've got everything. All right. Appreciate your help today. I thought we had a pretty good show, made it pretty good. I'll check with McCabe. He has been away the last couple of weeks, so I don't know if he's going to be here tomorrow or not. I'm going to try and get Rabbi Leaf, I think, to come in and talk about the September 11th events they've got going on tomorrow, or Saturday. I guess it is Saturday. Maybe. Yep. So that's kind of my game plan. And then if McCabe is not there, I'll come up with something else. We'll see. Right, we can get those in, so we'll be all right. Okay, sounds good. If you need me, give me a call. I'm around. Otherwise, I appreciate your help as always, and I will talk to you soon. All right, thanks, Biff. Bye.
Morning sun and clouds give way to a few afternoon scattered showers and storms. A daytime high near 73. Overnight, mainly clear. Temperatures near 52 for the low. Then looking towards your Friday, a mix of sun and clouds through the day, a high near 73. Have yourself a great day, everyone. From the Watchdog, I'm Darnell Foster.
The views and opinions expressed on the following program are not necessarily those of this station or its sponsors.
Good morning. Welcome to Talk Line on the Metro News Radio Network.
Do not attempt to change the station. You are surrounded. We interrupt this program to bring you an emergency news bulletin. Repeat, this is an emergency bulletin. Keep your radio turned on.
Holy smoke. From the studios of the West Virginia Radio Corporation and the Metro News Radio